repeat guest is Sarah Blomstrom here. And today I'm sure you can hear my assistants in the background knocking. But so this is real life in quarantine. There goes the dog. So
it's QuaranCOFFEE and QuaranChaos.
That's right. It's quarantine chaos here at my house. But we're here because we had we had a real live in-person event planned for today, part of our Tour de San Antonio series. And then, well, the world had more important plans, I guess, for us. And the coronavirus really has been a disruptor to everybody. So we thought, what better way to continue the spirit of our event? You have to have, this is a BYOB event. Sorry, everybody, but Mommy, unlock the door. Just a moment, please. So, Sarah, you have some great firsthand history of the pearl, and it's hard not to laugh. I'm sorry.
But you know what? Everybody is just so going to appreciate this because it's so real.
Unlock the door. Help me. Okay. She's
just
fine.
Bring them in. They can have the history lesson too.
Okay, super. Well, I'll open the door, but first let me introduce you, and that you're going to visit with us about the Pearl, and it's one of San Antonio's most, I think, popular and talked about destinations. We get everybody that I know that's been to San Antonio, that's been to the Hotel Emma, just raves about it. And so you have a really unique story and perspective to share with us on the Pearl. So take it away. I'm going to open the door.
I love it. Go get them. Go get them. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me back, Melissa. I am Sarah, and I work here in San Antonio with Melissa and her team. They're just wonderful. And my connection to the Pearl, and more specifically Hotel Emma, is really because my dad, who hopefully is watching this today, was asked in 2015, right after he retired, to come on board and help develop the Emma from start to finish. So Kit Goldsberry had worked with my dad on hotels over the course of the several years. And my dad just felt like he really could not pass up the opportunity to work not only with Kit, but with world-class architects, engineers, interior designers, historians, and so forth. And he looks back on this now because he worked on the project for 4 years, and he says it was really the best work experience of his life. So over the development and the involvement of Hotel Emma, new ideas emerged daily. And although a lot of things changed, one thing that never changed was Kit's vision. And so really what it was my dad's job to do, and the people who worked with my dad, was to bring that vision that Kit had to life. And I can't imagine, those of you who have lived in San Antonio a long time, we used to drive by the Pearl, and it was such an eyesore. It was kind of dangerous, and it just was, people would say, what is going on down there when they started to break ground? And I'm sure people thought, this is crazy. This is never going to work. But Kit had a vision, and he stuck to it. And he surrounded himself with people that would help that vision come to life. And my dad was one of them. And I'm very proud to be able to say that. And so what they really tried to do is keep a really special balance of bringing the old in with the new, and trying to figure out, how do we bring the historical part of the Pearl and what it was into what we want it to be now. And so they took a tour of the brew house before they started to really demolish things and rebuild. And they took bricks from the brew house and a wall that had been knocked down. And when they were removing the mortar and the brick, they decided to reuse some of that for the hotel. And so I have 3 little things that I want to share with you guys today that probably locals don't know, and maybe even tourists. So if you're watching outside of San Antonio and you're going to come visit us soon, when this is all over, because you want to take a trip, then you'll be able to have sort of that insider perspective. So the first thing is that Hotel Emma is named after Emma Kohler, who was married to the Pearl president, Otto Kohler. So I want you to keep track of this, because there are 3 Emmas in this story. And we all love a good story, especially when there's drama. And so see if you can keep up, because there's 3 Emmas involved in this story. So Emma Kohler was married to the president of Pearl, Otto Kohler. She actually kept the brewery going. But before that happened, she was in a car accident in 1910. And so her husband hired a nursemaid to come live behind their house, and her name was Emma. Well, the nursemaid, Emma, had also a very dear friend named Emma who must have been down and out and needed a place to stay. And so she came to stay with her friend Emma in the back house. Well, can you guess what happened?
He never got anybody's name wrong for sure.
He never got anybody's name wrong, and he started having an affair with one of the Emmas in the back house, maybe both, not sure. But yes, you're right. He never had to worry about calling any of the women by the wrong name and getting caught. But he did get caught, and on November 12th in 1914, he left his house to go visit the nurses. There was an argument, and the tall blonde Emma shot him dead. And when the police arrived, she said, "I'm sorry, but I had to kill him," which we don't really know what that means. But she was charged with murder and skipped town and went off to Europe during World War I to serve as a nurse with the soldiers. Okay. But in 1918, she did return, and she stood trial, and the all-male jury found her not guilty.
Oh, we're listening to a story. Come on in, Brookie. I'm going to have some better supervision for our next QuaranCOFFEE.
So Emma Kohler, the wife of Otto, she actually became the CEO and kept the brewery going during Prohibition by converting operations to dry cleaning and auto repair. So all about female power. She figured out how to work around the system and work in spite of it. And she did dry cleaning, auto repair, and making near beer, ice cream, and soda. So while other breweries were shutting down, Emma kept her entire workforce employed, which I think is super interesting given the current circumstances.
Yeah.
So she had to figure out new and innovative, maybe slightly illegal, which I'm not advocating.
We'll keep it all on board at my office. But I do have some child labor here, so perhaps I can employ them to keep us going.
Yeah, but I love that she was able to keep her entire workforce employed. She did turn over the company to her nephew in 1933, but she was a presence there at the brewery until her death in 1943. And then last but not least, Jeff Fetzer was somebody who also worked at the hotel. And one of the neat things when you go down there next time that you may notice is some of the tile that they have out on the back patio area that faces the actual river walk. And it's very intricate and unique tile. So when they were starting to go in and look at the brewery and look at the grounds before they, started to build, he was the one that was helping to make recommendations on integrating the old with the new. And he explored the brew house in 2002. And when they walked in the brew house, they found that the brewmaster had left his office exactly as it had been, many years prior. There were papers on the door, on the desk. There were pencils right where he had maybe put them down and walked out of the office. There were cups, documents, books. And it's as if somebody had literally turned out the lights and walked away. He even discovered coffee cups and beer cans, giant brewing tanks, conveyors, vats, hoppers, and massive engines. And so a lot of those artifacts, when you walk around the hotel, are repurposed. That you might see them as, Melissa, you've probably seen them as a planter.
Yeah.
With greenery in it.
And you can even go and sit in, weren't those the brewing vats or something like that?
Uh-huh. So if you go into the Sternworth, which is the bar, you can sit inside some of them. Some of them have been repurposed as chandeliers. In the archway, when you're going from the hotel lobby into the bar, the archway is actually off-center with the entrance because it was already there when they tore down the wall and they didn't want to change the structure of it.
Okay. Do you know if you do any tours or historical kind of informational tours on the Emma? This is all really cool information.
I know. I think they've thought about over the years putting together a book or trying to capture the historical part of it, but I don't know if they've found a way to do it in a way that will honor everything the way they want it to. So I think that's been a question, and I can certainly ask my dad and follow up with it, but they don't have any tours to my knowledge, but they should, and maybe they can hire me. That's
right. So tell me about all the triple X's, because you see XXX everywhere, and I had heard a rumor that had something to do with they had good beer at the Pearl, but
yes. So if I'm not mistaken, and my dad will follow up if I'm wrong with this, but the triple X's represent Emma, the three Emmas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll fact check that, but if I understand correctly, it was because of the triple X's. But now that I'm saying that, Melissa, I feel like it's wrong. I'm probably going to get a message any minute from my dad on my phone saying that's not right.
We'll have an update. Oh, thank you. That's how the coronavirus started. Stop that.
I'll post in the comment section after to clarify. But the last thing I wanted to share is that the tile out back, they found that and uncovered it when they were destroying or demolishing the grounds, and they took that and replicated it exactly, and because they thought it was so beautiful, and they have it all over the hotel, and that's kind of what they use to move forward with the design and the colors and the whole theme of the hotel. You are my hero right now. You're my hero.
Well, all I can hope is that our interview goes viral, and like we're gonna not have anything on that guy with his two little kids running in while he was doing the news. We're gonna win. I've got a naked baby straight out of the bathtub and Brooke eating cookies in the background. So you didn't think you're gonna have competition on our little visit today, but the real world.
Remember, I was a public school teacher for 16 years. So that's basically what my classroom looked like, and you just push forward. Mm-hmm.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm so thankful that you were able to visit with us a little bit about the Pearl, and I hope that the next time that we visit about the Pearl, we are actually in person at the wine bar there at the Pearl where we were going to have our event. So I appreciate you doing this impromptu event with me today, and we will catch up for our next QuaranCOFFEE very soon.
I love it. And when we are in person, I'll walk around and point out some of those things to people.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much for all of your secret insight and awesomeness. But the real world had other plans for me today. Next time I'm ready to hide better.
You can't plan this. It's so great, and I love it.
This is the real world. This is our quarantined life. But everybody stay safe, and thank you very much, Sarah. We love you. We love Chicago Title and all the things that you help do for us as a brokerage, and for you and all of your great wealth of knowledge. So we will continue our series next time without so many extra special guests. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, Blair.